Well, what specifically did you do differently when you got back to Colorado? I feel like you probably had a lot of real passionate opinions of like, well, that sucked. This didn't.
Yeah.
This is what I kind of want to change my trajectory of my life to like this sort of direction.
For me, it took some time. Again, I was in like a bad place, and it took, my family, and Brittany came back actually in the picture, and she's still in the picture. We talk all the time, but like it took like them to help me to get out of a pretty dark place.
Shout out to everyone who helped.
Yeah, shout out to you guys if you listen. But yeah, it took like a lot of their effort to get me out of that. And what I've started to realize, like, again, back to hindsight 2020, like reflecting, I think was like after the fact is a lot more beneficial than like right after for me, because I was just like in such a shitty place that it was just like I had really bad feelings towards my trip towards Hawaii, because like, again, stick it out in Hawaii, like I felt like a failure.
Do you think you stuck it out longer to prevent or to delay some of those?
I did for sure. Yeah, and it was not beneficial to myself.
Yeah.
But I did. Yeah, and it was just like you're gonna be viewed as a failure, this and that, and it was just like a lot of negative self-talk, which I get in my head all the time. But like it was just, yeah, you're just like, you're going to be a failure. You're not good enough. Like you didn't stay long enough. Like, why didn't you do this? And so for me, like I had a lot of negative feelings, like right when I got back from Hawaii, like towards that trip, like you're a fucking idiot. Like, why'd you do that? Like you had a house, you had a girlfriend, like
a job, all this stuff.
All the stuff that I moved away from for that reason was like, why'd you do that? And it was a weird, like, I was stuck in a rut, like, just like, what are you doing? Like, why did you do that? Like, you just wasted 7 months of your life. You just, like, took a dramatic step back.
Actually, I feel like we can almost relate to that because we did something similar when we moved to Australia. I've never thought about it like this, but we moved there for 4 months or so. And coming back, I was like, all I succeeded in was like going there, being broke, getting my friend's bike stolen, working like Superman, like I was an immigrant farmer, and then I got all of our money stolen by like a meth head. Like that's all we did while we were out there.
It was close to my trip.
And I got home and I went straight back to work at like the same car wash, and I was like, did I actually accomplish anything by going over there?
But I think like it takes a very introspective person and someone that has like enough self-awareness, like once you reach that point, like for me it took a minute, and just because again I was in a bad place, but like if you have the self-awareness to like realize life is more than just like right away figuring it out and like having something right there for you, like if you can like look back and be like, this is what I learned and this is what I did and this is what happened, like for me, like the, I guess, introspection or looking back, if that's a word, not looking back, but introspection. Like for me, it was like I learned a whole lot that like family and friends are super important to me. And like over there, I was isolated quite a bit. Like I had a few close friends, but I didn't hang out with them all the time. But like for me, family and friends were like, and that's what's got me into like feeling a lot better and like in the place that I'm at right now is like having that close network of people. Cause like I haven't changed my habits too much. Like I still fucking drink quite a bit and like do some of the stupid shit that I do. But like having that close knit group of friends and like my family around makes a huge difference. And so like I realized that like family and friends are super important to me. And I mean, like, I feel like that's not different for a lot of people, despite what their childhood, whatever it is.
It's easy to take that for granted until you lose it. I definitely came back from Australia feeling the same way. I was like,
Yeah.
I had no idea. I genuinely loved my dad. Like,
Yeah.
he was so important to me. And then all of a sudden, I wasn't living at his house and talking to him all the time. And I was like, oh, wow, I actually miss him. Like, I genuinely thought because we didn't, like, have any of the same interests or any of this that I wouldn't even miss him. And then all of a sudden, I was like, oh, wow, I actually genuinely miss this guy. Where I thought because we had such a, like, business relationship that I was like, oh, we're just going to, like, shake hands when I leave and shake hands when I get back. And then we'll just be back to where we were. And instead, I was like, wow, I have such, like you said, a new appreciation for that friends and family.
Yeah. Yeah, and I definitely, I can't, like, I'm trying to put it into words, but, like, I think that, like, appreciation for all of that stuff, like, again, happens when you move away or, like, you don't know what you have until it's gone.
Yeah.
Like, some of those weird quirks and things that, like, you don't necessarily know. Like, it's, like, those are comforting. And it's nice to have, like, that support group around you. And I think everybody, like, despite what you say, like, people need affection. People need to feel wanted. People need to feel, like, supported. And
absolutely. I mean, I encourage, as weird as it sounds, like, I encourage a lot of the like kids that I know, like anywhere from like 16 to like 19, I encourage them, like, go get lost. Like, the best thing I ever did was go get lost and be broke and have to genuinely kind of struggle through Australia. Again, like, no one pictures like, oh, I had to stick it out through Australia. Like, it's the greatest place. But we really genuinely were lost and had no idea what to do. And you're not going to die. Like, you're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And if you just stick it out just that extra little bit, all of a sudden, wow, I learned something, or I found this new confidence because I didn't have to give up. I found a way out. And I think I encourage a lot of people to just go lose themselves at least once in their lifetime where, I had no idea what I was doing. I was in way over my head, and I had to go find a job, or I had to go find help, or whatever it was. You really don't know who you are, I feel like, until you've had those experiences.
Because it'll always work out.
Yeah, like, you'll either die and all of your problems are fine. Like, you're certainly not going to be worried about it, right? Or you'll figure it out one way or another. Yeah. Like, there isn't really anything to be worried about.
No, there's really not. And that's, I mean, where a lot of anxiety comes from is that people think that fucking...
it's just the right dress for today.
Yeah, superficial things are, like, super important. But, like as Steve Jobs said, like, I mean, like, look at, like, if you're each day as if it was your last, like, that quote, like...
Yeah, I think it's something along the lines of, like, if you wake up every morning hating what you do, you need to stop doing it and find something that you do enjoy.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that statement, because it's like, there's a ton of superficial shit that, like, people get wrapped up in and think are important, but, like, at the end of the day, there's a lot more important things than, like, what's going on.